Welcome to Once Upon English.
The boy with magic in his feet. Before he was Neymar, the global superstar. Before the tattoos, the fancy haircuts, the $1 million transfers, and the flash of cameras. He was just a barefoot kid from the narrow streets of Brazil, dribbling a ball like it was a part of his body. Neymar da Silva Santos Jr. was not born with a golden spoon. He was born with a golden dream. A dream that would carry him from poverty to Paris, from playing in the sand to playing in stadiums packed with 100,000 fans, from a name no one knew to a name the world would never forget. This is the full story of Neymar Jr., and it starts in a small town with a big heart. The beginning. A star is born in Mogi das Cruzes. Neymar was born on February 5, 1992, in Mogi das Cruzes, a modest town near São Paulo, Brazil. His parents, Neymar Santos Sr. and Nadine, didn't have much, but they had love, faith, and football. His father had been a footballer himself, not famous but passionate. When Neymar was still a baby, his family survived a serious car accident. It was a miracle they lived. His mother often said, God saved him for a reason. From a very young age, Neymar showed something different. He wasn't just good with a ball, he was magical. At age 3, he was already juggling fruits, plastic bottles, and anything he could kick. By 6, he was known in the neighborhood as the Little Wizard. The family struggled financially. Sometimes they couldn't even afford electricity. Neymar would do homework under candlelight, but he never complained. He kept playing, kept smiling, kept believing. His father saw the talent, the hunger, and the light in his eyes. He became Neymar's first coach, agent, protector, and biggest fan. At 11, Neymar was accepted into the Santos FC Youth Academy, the same club where Pelé became a legend. It was here that the real journey began, the rise of a prodigy, Santos FC and early fame. When Neymar joined Santos FC's youth academy, he was just a skinny 11-year-old boy, quiet, polite, and always with a ball at his feet. But it didn't take long before everyone at the club started talking about him. He was fast, creative, and fearless. He would dribble past 3, 4 defenders like they weren't even there. Coaches couldn't believe how quickly he could think on the field. His movements were unpredictable. His footwork was dazzling. By the age of 13, Neymar was already receiving offers from major European clubs, including Real Madrid. His father took him to Spain for a trial. Neymar impressed everyone at Real Madrid's training ground, playing with older boys and still dominating. But in the end, his parents decided not to let him stay in Europe. Why? Because Neymar was still a kid. Because Brazil was home. Because they believed it was better for him to grow slowly, to be near family, and to become a legend in his own country before chasing dreams abroad. So, he returned to Santos, and Brazil would never be the same. At just 17 years old, Neymar made his professional debut for Santos FC in 2009. The media immediately compared him to Brazilian greats like Robinho, Romario, and even Pelé. But Neymar didn't let the pressure shake him. He scored goals, he made assists, he danced after scoring. Fans loved his joyful, attacking style. In his first full season, Neymar scored 14 league goals and won the award for Best Young Player in the Brazilian Championship. He was quickly becoming a national sensation. By 2010, Neymar was already a fan favorite. Crowds filled stadiums just to watch him. Young kids copied his hairstyle and celebrations. He had become more than a footballer. He was a cultural icon. The national team called him up, and he scored on his debut for Brazil against the USA. He was only 18. People began to ask, is this the next Pelé? In 2011, Neymar did something legendary. He led Santos FC to victory in the Copa Libertadores, the most prestigious tournament in South American club football. It was the club's first Libertadores title since 1963, when Pelé played. Neymar was unstoppable. His goals were magical, his assists clever, and his confidence sky high. He was named South American Footballer of the Year and was only 19. He also scored one of the most beautiful goals of his career that year, a solo run, full of tricks, speed, and style. That goal won the FIFA Puskas Award for the best goal in the world. By now, Neymar was on every major club's radar. Barcelona, Real Madrid, Chelsea, Bayern Munich. Everyone wanted him. Offers poured in, and the media speculated daily about where he would go. But Neymar stayed with Santos for a bit longer, saying, I still have many dreams to fulfill in Brazil. His loyalty was praised. He was proud to represent his country. But deep down, he knew Europe was calling. The Barcelona chapter, playing with legends. In 2013, after years of rumors and speculation, Neymar officially signed with FC Barcelona. It was a massive move, not just for his career, but for world football. He joined a team filled with stars, Lionel Messi, Andrés Iniesta, Xavi Hernandez, and many more. Some doubted whether he could shine in such a legendary squad. Others wondered if he and Messi could share the spotlight. But Neymar wasn't afraid. He arrived with confidence, excitement, and a clear goal: to become the best in the world. At first, it wasn't easy. The European game was faster, more physical. The pressure was higher. The media was watching every move. But Neymar adapted quickly. His technique, speed, and creativity impressed both fans and teammates. He developed a strong bond with Messi, not as rivals but as friends. Messi helped Neymar settle in, and Neymar respected Messi deeply. Soon, their connection on the field became unstoppable. Then came Luis Suarez, and with that, the birth of one of the most dangerous attacking trios in football history: MSN, Messi, Suarez, Neymar. In the 2014 to 2015 season, they destroyed defenses across Europe. Neymar scored important goals in La Liga, the Champions League, and the Copa del Rey. His footwork, dribbling, and composure under pressure were world-class. Barcelona won the treble that year, all three major trophies. Neymar played a crucial role in the final of the UEFA Champions League, scoring in the last minutes to seal a 3-1 victory over Juventus. By the end of that season, Neymar was no longer just a rising star. He was a global superstar. He finished third in the Ballon d'Or behind Messi and Ronaldo, but many believed his time would come. Over the next few seasons, Neymar continued to grow. He scored hat-tricks, assisted in big matches, and delivered in El Clásicos against Real Madrid. But even with all the success, a part of him felt limited. At Barcelona, the spotlight always belonged to Messi. Neymar wanted to step out of the shadow, not because of ego, but because of ambition. He didn't just want to be part of history. He wanted to write his own. And so, in 2017, Neymar made a decision that shocked the world. He agreed to join Paris Saint-Germain, PSG, for a record-breaking €222 million, the most expensive transfer in football history. It was bold, risky, controversial. But for Neymar, it was the next step. He was ready to lead, ready to take the pressure, ready to build his own legacy. The PSG era, records, injuries, and the fight for glory. When Neymar landed in Paris in August 2017, it wasn't just a football transfer. It was a global event. Cameras followed his every move. PSG fans welcomed him like royalty, his shirt sold by the millions. He was now the most expensive footballer in history and the face of an ambitious club aiming to conquer Europe. From his very first match, Neymar made an impact. He scored, assisted, danced, and smiled. He brought the samba spirit to the streets of Paris, playing alongside talented teammates like Kylian Mbappé, Edinson Cavani, and later Lionel Messi. Neymar had all the tools to dominate French football. And he did. In his debut season, he scored 28 goals in just 30 appearances across all competitions. He helped PSG win Ligue 1, Coupe de France, and the Coupe de la Ligue. But then came the first big challenge: injury. In February 2018, Neymar fractured his foot during a league match. He had to undergo surgery and miss the rest of the season, including crucial Champions League games. Fans were devastated. Neymar was heartbroken. He returned for the 2018 World Cup in Russia, but he wasn't at full strength. Though Brazil reached the quarter-finals, they were knocked out by Belgium. Neymar was heavily criticized for theatrics and exaggeration during fouls, which damaged his image globally. Still, he remained determined. He continued performing brilliantly at PSG, scoring stunning goals and delivering magical assists. He had a natural connection with Mbappé, the young superstar who looked up to him. But injuries kept haunting him. Ankle problems, muscle strains, more fractures. Each time he got back, another injury would come. The pressure was building. The media questioned his professionalism. Some said he cared more about parties than football. But those who trained with Neymar knew the truth. He loved the game. He worked hard, and he never stopped believing in himself. In the 2019 to 2020 season, Neymar came back with one mission: to win the UEFA Champions League with PSG, and he almost did. During the COVID-delayed campaign, Neymar led PSG to their first-ever Champions League final. He was unstoppable in the knockout stages, dribbling past defenders, creating chances, and carrying the team forward. But in the final, they faced Bayern Munich. Despite a strong fight, PSG lost 1-0. Neymar cried on the pitch. He had come so close to achieving his dream. Still, he stayed loyal. He renewed his contract with PSG and promised to keep fighting for the title. In the following years, he formed a new super trio: Messi, Mbappe, Neymar, something fans had only dreamed of. But things weren't easy. Internal conflicts, coaching changes, and injuries made consistency difficult. By 2023, Neymar had become one of PSG's all-time top scorers. But the Champions League remained out of reach. The soul of Brazil, Neymar, and the national team for Neymar, wearing the yellow jersey of Brazil, was more than just an honor. It was a dream, a responsibility, and sometimes a heavy burden. From the moment he made his senior debut in 2010 and scored his first goal against the United States, Neymar became the face of Brazil's future. He was young, stylish, full of flair, everything Brazil wanted after the fading era of Kaká and Ronaldinho. He played in the 2011 Copa America and the 2012 Olympics, helping Brazil reach the final. Although they lost to Mexico, Neymar's performances were praised. He was seen as the player who could bring the World Cup back home. And then came the 2014 FIFA World Cup, hosted by Brazil itself. The entire nation had its eyes on Neymar. He was only 22, but carried the hopes of 200 million people. And he delivered. He scored stunning goals against Croatia and Cameroon. He played with passion, joy, and elegance. But in the quarter-final match against Colombia, tragedy struck. In the 88th minute, Neymar was tackled from behind, a knee to his lower back. He collapsed. The stadium fell silent. The injury was serious, a fractured vertebra. He was ruled out for the rest of the tournament. Worse, Brazil collapsed without him. In the semi-final, they suffered the most painful defeat in their history, a 7-1 loss to Germany. Neymar watched from a hospital bed, heartbroken. The world cried with him. But he returned. In 2016, Neymar made history. At the Rio Olympics, he led Brazil to their first ever Olympic gold medal in football. In the final against Germany, the match went to penalties. Neymar took the last shot and scored. He dropped to his knees, overwhelmed with emotion. Finally, he had given Brazil a historic title on home soil. In the 2018 World Cup, Neymar again carried Brazil's hopes. He scored and assisted, but Brazil was eliminated in the quarterfinals by Belgium. His playing style drew criticism. People mocked his falls and rolls. But beyond the memes, Neymar remained Brazil's leader. Then came 2022. At 30 years old, Neymar entered what many believed would be his last World Cup in peak condition. He scored a beautiful goal in the knockout stage against South Korea and tied Pele's all-time goal record for Brazil. In the quarterfinals against Croatia, he scored a magical solo goal in extra time, a goal that should have been legendary. But Brazil conceded late and lost in penalties. Once again, Neymar walked off the pitch in tears. Once again, Brazil's dream was crushed. He later admitted, "I don't know if I'll ever play another World Cup." It was raw, honest, painful. But for millions of Brazilians, Neymar is still a hero. He passed Pelé to become Brazil's all-time leading scorer in official matches, a record that speaks to his greatness, even without a World Cup trophy. His story with the national team is one of beauty and heartbreak, of brilliant goals and unbearable pressure. But through it all, he has remained true to the jersey, to the fans, and to the game. Beyond the pitch, fame, fatherhood, and finding balance. While Neymar dazzled the world with his skills on the field, off the pitch he was living a life filled with challenges, attention, and emotional growth. At just 19 years old, Neymar became a father. His son, Davy Luca, was born in 2011. The news surprised many, but Neymar embraced fatherhood with love and responsibility. He often said that his son gave him purpose and joy beyond football. In interviews, he spoke warmly about being a young dad. "Davy changed everything for me. When I look into his eyes, I know why I work so hard." He remained close to Davy's mother, and both parents agreed to raise the child with love and support. Neymar would often bring Davy to training grounds, matches, and celebrations, making him part of the journey. But being Neymar wasn't easy. He became one of the most famous people on earth, followed by paparazzi, surrounded by fans, and constantly judged by the media. His social media exploded, and every post became a headline. His hairstyles, his clothes, his parties, everything was under the spotlight. Some criticized him for being too flashy, too playful, or not serious enough. But those close to him knew that behind the smile, Neymar was often struggling with pressure. He once said, "People see the goals. They don't see the tears, the pain, the hours alone in recovery rooms." He loved to dance, laugh, and celebrate. But he also fought loneliness, injuries, and the stress of expectations. Neymar has always been close to his family. His mother, Nadine, remains one of his biggest supporters. His father, Neymar Sr., became his business manager, guiding his career and protecting his image. Through all the fame and fortune, Neymar never forgot his roots. He donated millions to charity, helped poor communities in Brazil, and supported young talents through his own foundation. He built a massive house in Brazil for his family, with a football pitch, swimming pool, and space for everyone to enjoy. He surrounded himself with close friends, often referred to as tois, a small group of loyal companions who travel with him, live with him, and keep him grounded. Still, controversy followed him. He was accused of diving, criticized for being injury-prone, and sometimes involved in legal battles. In 2019, he was falsely accused of assault, a case that deeply affected him emotionally, though he was cleared of all wrongdoing. Despite all this, Neymar never lost his love for the game. Football remained his escape, his joy, his truth. As he matured, fans saw a new side of Neymar, more humble, more focused, more aware of his role not just as an athlete, but as a global role model. He once told a group of young players, "Be grateful, work hard, and never forget where you came from." A new chapter, Saudi Arabia and the legacy of Neymar. In 2023, after years of playing in Europe, Neymar made a surprising move that shocked many fans. He signed with Al Hilal, one of the biggest football clubs in Saudi Arabia. At first, some saw it as just a business decision, a huge paycheck, a step away from elite European football. But for Neymar, it was also a chance for something new, to escape the pressure, to focus on his health, to enjoy the game in a different way, and to help grow football in a region where passion was rising fast. The Saudi Pro League had already attracted stars like Cristiano Ronaldo, Karim Benzema, and N'Golo Kante. Neymar joined the wave, bringing his own energy, creativity, and spotlight to the Middle East. His arrival in Saudi Arabia was met with massive excitement. Fans filled the stadiums, social media exploded. Young players looked at Neymar not just as a legend, but as a living dream. He brought flair, skill, and experience. And despite injuries continuing to challenge him, he remained a symbol of the joy of football. But by this point, Neymar's story was about more than goals, assists, or trophies. It was about what he represented. A kid from a small town who made it to the top of the world. A player who carried the weight of a country, smiled through pain, and always brought magic with his feet. A father, a fighter, and an icon. Neymar became Brazil's all-time top scorer, passing Pelé. He became one of the most followed athletes on earth. He inspired millions of kids, from favelas to stadiums, to believe in themselves. Even though his career has had ups and downs, one thing has never changed. Neymar played with heart. He laughed when he scored. He cried when he lost. He danced with his teammates. He prayed before games. And through it all, he reminded us that football is not just about winning. It's about expression, passion, and freedom. His story is still being written. But even now, Neymar stands as one of the most talented and influential players of the 21st century. Wherever he goes next, back to Brazil, to MLS, or somewhere unexpected, one thing is certain: the world will be watching. Because Neymar, love him or criticize him, is unforgettable. The legacy lives on. Neymar's message to the world. As Neymar steps into the later stages of his football journey, his story continues to inspire millions, not just because of his trophies, goals, or records, but because of his spirit. He showed the world that success isn't just about talent. It's about dreaming big, even when you're small. It's about falling and having the courage to get back up. It's about staying true to yourself, even when others try to define you. Neymar's life reminds us that greatness doesn't always follow a straight path. He had shining moments of glory and painful moments of loss. He was praised as a genius and criticized like a villain. He was lifted as a hero and blamed like a scapegoat. But through it all, he kept playing, kept smiling, kept dancing. He once said, "My name is Neymar. I come from a simple place, and my dream was to play football. I never gave up, and you shouldn't either." That's the legacy he gives to the next generation. To love what you do, to fight for your passion, to remember that being different is powerful, and to never let fear stop you from chasing your dreams. Neymar da Silva Santos Jr., the boy from Mogi das Cruzes, the star of Brazil, the magician of Barcelona, the leader of PSG, the father, the friend, the fighter, may one day retire from the pitch. But his story will remain in highlight reels, in hearts of fans, in the dreams of kids juggling a ball in the street, barefoot and full of hope. Because in the end, he didn't just play football, he played with joy. And that's why we'll never forget him. Now, we would love to hear from you. Neymar's story was full of challenges, dreams, and unforgettable moments. But which part touched you the most? Maybe you faced something similar in your own life, or maybe you just admire his passion and strength. Whatever it is, don't keep it to yourself. Share your thoughts in the comments. Your voice matters here. Let's keep the conversation going. And if you want to hear the story of another football legend, just say the word. Thank you so much for staying with us until the end of Neymar's story. It means a lot to us, and we hope you enjoyed the journey as much as we did. Your support and interest keep this channel alive, so thank you from the bottom of heart.